guys, it's Melissa from Silhouette School. In this video, I am going to show you how to get more production out of your Roland BN-20 or BN-20A by pairing it with a cutting machine. In this case, we are going to use the 24-inch Silhouette CAMEO 4. So why would you even want to do this when the Roland can print and cut? It's a really good question. And a lot of people, what they have found is once they start using the Roland, they realize that it prints slowly because it's putting down so much ink, but it also is cutting at the after it prints, it then cuts. However, if you want to continually print so that you're not stopping your production, you can actually print on this Roland and then cut that material with your CAMEO 4 Pro. So for example, I printed all of these. This was a 20-inch by 36-inch sheet at one time, okay? I printed them. And then I cut them on the CAMEO Pro while this whole set was printing and cutting on the Roland. And what that allows you to do is speed up your production probably by about 1.5 times. So in this video, I am going to show you the full process for doing that. I have a free template that you can download to use in Silhouette Studio so that your registration mark are set up correctly, and we are going to start in Silhouette Studio, so I'll meet you over there. All right, so we are going to start here in Silhouette Studio. So if you are not familiar with Silhouette Studio, I'm gonna try to make this as easy as possible for you. In fact, I have a free template that you can use to for the page setup, because this page does need to be set up exactly the right way so that it works with both the Silhouette CAMEO and the Roland BN-20. So if you haven't downloaded it already, head over and grab that free template that I have available over on SoFontsy. Once you have that, you can go, it's right here. So what you can do is go to File and Open. Oops, let me make sure we're in Silhouette. File, Open, and you can navigate to that studio file. It's gonna look blank, but you'll see that once it opens, this is now what you have. So the way that this is set up is very, very specific. The registration marks are in the very certain spot so that they print, because if you don't have them in this spot, this one registration mark specifically can be cut off partially by the Roland because it doesn't fully print the 20 inches. So this is in the exact spot that you're gonna want it. Now, I have it set up as 36 inches in height. If you want to make this shorter, you can. I would not change this to make it any longer. 36 inches, printing and cutting any more than 36 inches with the Pro can get a little bit kind of hairy. So that would be my suggestion. Don't move the registration marks at all. Everything else is set up. So now all you need to do is bring in your design. Now, if this is the first time that you're doing this, I would suggest that you use an SVG file because it's already set up with cut lines, which you will need for the CAMEO Pro. So you can either drag and drop your file, or you can go to File, Merge. Using Merge will open it in this exact same work area, and then find the file that you want to use. So I am using this Cheer Mom file, and I have the SVG option. So I'm gonna bring that in, and it will come into Silhouette Studio in the work area because we used File Merge. Now, it's probably not grouped together. We can tell, I'm gonna zoom in here so you can see. So if I click on part of this design and the entire part doesn't select, see how it only has that one box? That means it's not grouped. So first thing we're gonna do is go way up and around and pull our mouse down around the whole thing. And then we'll just right click and group. This will just make it so that our entire design moves around the work area together and doesn't get out of position. And then what you want to do is size it to, whatever size it is that you want your vinyl stickers to be. I'm going to make mine about, 4 or 5 inches, so this could work for a car or whatever, okay? And then what we are going to do is we want to fill this entire page with this design. Now, you could put different designs on the same page if you want. That would work totally fine. But for this beginner tutorial, I just, we're going to use the same design all over. So you can copy and paste this if you want to duplicate, or you can do it the fastest way, which is to go to the replicate panel over here on the right side. And on that panel, you can click fill page, and it will fill the entire printable and cuttable area with your design. All right, so you have your design all set up here. All right, and then this is all you need to export. Okay, so we're gonna need to create a cut line for Silhouette to use to know exactly where to cut, but we're not going to do that part until after we export as a PDF, because we don't want the cut line to actually print on the Roland. All right, so then we will go to File, Save As, and Save to Hard Drive. Now you want to pick PDF for this, and in order to have the PDF option, you are going to need Silhouette Studio Business Edition, which is a one-time paid upgrade. It's $99, so you'll only have that option if you have Business Edition. You can see at the top of mine it says Business Edition up here. All right, so I'm just going to put a 1 by this too so I can, oops. All right, and then we'll click OK. All right, so that is now exported and is on my hard drive. All right, you can see it right. Where'd it go? It's on my hard drive. So, oh, where'd it go? Oh, it'll be on your desktop, excuse me. All right, so to save this as a PDF, you're going to go to File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive, and we are just going to change this to a PDF. I'm going to change it so that it saves into my downloads, and you want to make sure it's a PDF. Now, you need excuse me, Silhouette Studio Business Edition in order to export as a PDF. That's a one-time paid upgrade. It costs about $99 to use. So this is the only way you're going to be able to export as a PDF, which is how you're going to save the registration marks with the rest of the design. All right, so we'll click OK. Oh, it's telling me. Let's see. I'm just going to add. I already have a file named this. Okay, so then you'll be able to find your design. So here's the one that we just saved. Okay, and if I preview it, you can see it has the registration marks on there, and it is ready to go. Now, the next thing that you need to do is open this file in VersaWorks. All right, so I'm on a Mac. So from a Mac, I can't open VersaWorks. So I need to I save all of my files into my G drive. And then on my PC, I go to G drive and I download that same PDF, and then I pull it into VersaWorks that way. So whether you have to do that or whether you can just pull this into, whether you're working on a PC only, you want to open in VersaWorks. So you're going to launch VersaWorks, and then you're going to go to File, Add Job to Queue, and select the queue that you're going to use. I'm going to use queue A here. And once the file has loaded, you can then right click on it. It'll be down in your queue. So you're going to right click and click Settings. You can see here that the registration marks are on the preview of the file that you have imported, and that's exactly what you want. It's previewing and showing you also that it's going to completely print all 3 of the registration marks along with the design. So this is exactly what we want. So after you open up settings, in the media settings, you just want to make sure that all of this is set. I usually don't have to change anything here with the exception of possibly the orientation, but definitely don't scale anything when you're doing a print and cut with the Roland and the Silhouette. You want to make sure you keep that on 100% scale or it will throw off the cut. Next thing that you want to do is select the quality settings tab and just make sure that the media is set to generic vinyl. And under a color management, I like to use sign and display. I feel like that gives me a really good color quality when it prints. Once you've set all of these settings, you can go to the cut job option, which is all the way down at the bottom, the little scissors, and just tell it that you want the operation to be print only, because we're not going to cut with our Roland for this. And then the final step is to go back to your queue and pull the design to the rip. So you want to let that rip. That usually just takes 30 seconds or so. Once it is finished ripping, then you can pull it into the print status, and the job will automatically begin printing to your Roland. All right, so while it's cutting on your Roland, you can return to Silhouette Studio to set up the cut line. Now, it's extremely important that you don't move anything in the work area while you're doing this, because the registration marks will only be accurately able to cut around your design if you don't move anything after it's been exported as a PDF. We did those a couple steps ago. But now we need to set up the cut line. Reason being, if we went to the send panel right now and just looked at what was going on here, we would have red cut lines, these bold red cut lines all over the place. We don't want each part of our design to cut out. We just want a large contour cut line around the whole image. All right, so in order to do that, we can select the entire set here. Just select them. And then open the offset panel. So this offset panel is this little star right here on the right side, and we will click offset. Now what we're looking for is a red line to go around the entire design. The default distance may not work for us. So we gotta wait and see until we get the preview, and then we'll be able to decide if we need to adjust it. All right. So what you can see here is that it looks like this red line is going to completely overlap itself, which is what we want. So we want to click apply. All right. And now I'm going to zoom in so you can see this a little bit better. What we have, as you can see, is a red line around our entire design. There's little, I call them little islands in the middle here. Those will be cut out too. But now if we go to the send panel, what we'll see, just give me a second, select everything, and this time click cut edge. All right, now while you're in the send panel, you also want to make sure that your material is set to vinyl glossy. So if it's not, change that. And this will be, once you have your Silhouette CAMEO Pro connected to your computer, this action will change to cut. So wait for the cutting to finish on the Roland, and then we will come back to Silhouette Studio eventually to send to cut. So after your print is finished printing on the Roland, you want to make sure that you cut it across, and then you are going to load it into the CAMEO 4 Pro. It's really important to make sure that that top edge is straight as you possibly can, so that you can load it correctly into your Silhouette CAMEO 4. Once you've got it loaded into your Silhouette CAMEO 4, you're going to go back to the send panel in Silhouette Studio, and assuming that you have already set up what the material is that you're using, you can go ahead and click send, and the registration will begin. The machine will first look for that top left square, and then the bottom left little L shape, and then the top right registration mark. Stand by your machine just to make sure that nothing gets crooked as it's going through, and then that will begin the cutting process. Those registration marks are what is going to tell the CAMEO 4 Pro exactly where to cut, so that you can get that gorgeous contour cut line right around your vinyl sticker. Once the cutting is complete on the CAMEO 4, then you just weed it as you normally would. And then you have created your vinyl stickers. You can see that you have that white offset line right around the edge there, and you've created an entire set. All the while, your Roland is still printing and cutting that other set that you're working on. So you can see how this really speeds up production and prevents you from losing time waiting for your Roland to cut at those times when you have a lot of things that you need to get done simultaneously. Of course, ideally you're going to use your Roland to print and then cut, but this is a great option to pair, especially for those of you who are coming from the Silhouette side and already have a Silhouette cutting machine. So if you are interested in more Roland tutorials, feel free to check out the full playlist. I also have a lot of Silhouette Studio tutorials for software, specifically in Silhouette U. So if you're interested in learning more about how to use Silhouette Studio, check out Silhouette U, where we have about 400 exclusive videos in our library at this time that are accessible to members. See you guys soon.